Last night was all about a clash of rivals, a clash of brands, a clash of outfits on at least one occasion, and a main event that may leave us with a clash of opinion. This is WWE Clash of Champions 2020 Graded. Some jiggery pokery to get us underway. We know that Nikki Cross and Bayley's match is off, as is the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship match. So we now have, instead of Asuka and Zelina Vega on the Kickoff show, we have the SmackDown Tag Team title match, Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura defending against Lucha House Party. Kalisto's outfit looks different to the other lads, and there's a lot of talk about the vie for leadership within the Lucha House Party as this match progresses. We get a great moment in the third act on this one where Kalisto goes for a tornado DDT outside the ring, but Cesaro catches him because he's a strong Swiss boy. Lince Dorado jumps onto Cesaro to help that move come to fruition. We see Lucha House Party start to work like a well-oiled unit, pick up some near falls on the champs, but then Shinsuke sends Lince Dorado crashing over the barricade into the Thunderdome, leaving Kalisto all alone to eat a big swing Kinshasa. Big swing chassa? Is that what we're calling it? Champs retain. B- for this one. I feel like it would have been a better paced match on the main show. There is something about the pacing on the pre-show matches that changes the match. Really enjoyed what they did though. We get a great intro video narrated by John Cena, who we can't see, just hear his voice. I love when they use like the modern day WWE legends for stuff like this, like Steve Austin and Mark Henry. Just makes these things more poignant. It's a great way to start the show, as is the first match on the show proper, which is the Intercontinental winner-take-all ladder match. AJ Styles, Sami Zayn and Jeff Hardy. The story of this match is basic to start off with. It's Jeff and Alan fighting for the belt and Sami picking the bones when they knock each other down. There's one great moment where we see Sami Zayn scurrying up the ladder like a rat up a drain pipe, and AJ Styles stops him by just throwing the ladder at him. Nearly breaks his fingers in the process. We see Jeff and AJ fighting on top of the ladder at one point, and they both end up careering to the floor, which leaves Sami Zayn alone to try and get back up there. Jeff Hardy putting the stoppers on that one. There's this one spot where I genuinely think Jeff Hardy nearly is done for. We see Sami Zayn trying to tip the ladder that Jeff Hardy's on, and Jeff kind of becomes a human spirit level. He slithers down the other side of the ladder. Sami ends up dumping the ladder into the corner, and Jeff and the ladder just come crashing off and out of the ring. Just a mess of ladder and person at the bottom. I was like, that's Jeff done then. Nah, he's fine. He's perfectly fine. He's fine enough to set up his customary big ladder and dive onto Sami Zayn on the outside of the ring through another ladder. Jeff Hardy, you wild boy, you. Sami Zayn retaliates from this. He throws Jeff Hardy into the barricade. Then he goes and gets some handcuffs from his jacket. He feeds one part of the handcuff through a ladder and the other half through Jeff Hardy's ear-piercing hole. Jeff Hardy is now handcuffed to a ladder. He gets back in the ring to try and handcuff AJ Styles to a ladder, but AJ sees this coming and he's not having it. But somewhere in the beating that AJ's giving Sami Zayn handcuffs himself to AJ Styles. So AJ is having to climb the ladder with Sami Zayn on his shoulders, whilst Jeff Hardy tries to lug a ladder attached to his lug hole back into the ring. They end up all fighting into the same ladder area. Jeff gets taken down, and in Sami Zayn, quick like a cat, spits out the key to the handcuffs, uncuffs himself, cuffs AJ to the ladder, climbs up, grabs both championships. Sami Zayn, undisputed Intercontinental Champion. He is delighted with himself as he's interviewed by Kayla Braxton at the top of the stage, giving this opening match an A+. It's so hard these days for ladder matches to truly cut through, but this was excellent. Amazing work by all three. It told a really unique story and an incredibly creative finish. I loved how we started Clash of Champions. Some R-Truth 24/7 shenanigans tonight. He's dressed as an old man who's prospecting for gold. I get it. He's disguised so nobody recognises him, despite the fact he's got the 24/7 title over his shoulder. He's walking around backstage, ends up getting rolled up by Drew Gulak, who becomes the 24/7 24/7 champion. We'll come back to this little thing later. Zelina Vega heads out now. It's her versus Asuka for the Raw Women's Championship. Asuka just toying with Zelina Vega at the start of this one, not really taking her too seriously. Vega sees an opening though and starts to wear down the arm of Asuka. This is basically Vega's MO, just to break the arm of Asuka throughout this one. She gets some really nice looking offense on the champion in here as well. She continues to work the arm and she manages to avoid several Asuka lock attempts. Some of them look a bit ropey though. I felt like it lacked a bit of connection between quite a few of these spots. They go back and forth with pinfall roll-ups, one of which turns into an Asuka lock, and Zelina Vega taps out pretty quickly. After the match, Asuka is asked her opinion on Zelina Vega, and she calls her small but dangerous. Offers the hand. Vega decides to bow and then boots her, stomps her for a little bit and then legs it. Asuka just wipes all this off and is just screaming on the mic at Zelina Vega as she heads on up the ramp. I guess we're not done with these two. I'm giving this a C+. It was good. It wasn't great. I feel like I like the fact that we're pushing some new people in there, but this didn't really click a whole lot for me. I feel like a few of the exchanges and stuff were quite ropey, and the finish came out of nowhere, and then Vega's beatdown didn't hurt Asuka, so what was the point? Yeah, I'm giving it a C+. United States Championship on the line next. It's Bobby Lashley versus Apollo Crews. Grapples to start off with. We see Apollo pull away with a moonsault outside of the ring. Bobby comes back with a flatliner, slows it right down here. Nearly hits Apollo with that throw into the turnbuckle, that fireman carry turnbuckle smash, but Crews manages to push out of it and take back control of this match. Crews hits all his signature moves. He's bashing triangle, but nothing is landing a 3. He ends up eating a one-arm spine buster and getting trapped in the hurt lock for the submission win. Champion retains, and that's that. C+ for me on this one. I thought what they did was good to quite good. But it's just another retread of Crews versus the Hurt Business. I'm so confused by the Hurt Business right now. Are we cheering them? Are we booing them? Are they saving the company? Are they taking over the company? I just don't know. For the 325th time, the Raw Tag Team Championship match is the Street Profits defending against Andrade and Angel Garza, Vega's ex-boys at this point. And they have a renewed vigor in this match. The story is that Garza and Andrade are getting on better than ever. Montez Ford is on the receiving end of quite a beating after the opening of this match, and just the intensity of Andrade and Garza and their double team moves is just excellent here. Dawkins gets a tag, but he too also succumbs to this really well-connected unit very quickly. Dawkins tags back to Ford, but again, Ford just gets shut down. He eats a beautiful Spanish fly from Angel Garza off the top rope for a near fall. That was a beauty of a moment. Eventually, Ford gets one more big tag to Angelo Dawkins, who charges the ring, hits a big spine buster onto Andrade, covers him. Andrade's shoulders clearly up, but the ref counts 3. Huh? Garza and Ford both look livid with the result of this one, are all quite confused by what's gone on. It turns out Angel Garza may have got hurt during this match, so they made the decision to take the match home early, but I don't think that had been communicated to all parties by the time the decision was made, hence why I think Ford and Dawkins just look furious about it all, which I kind of get. If you're, this was probably one of the better matches they were having, and I was close to giving this one something in the region of like a B+, A- thing, but I'm knocking this down to a B-. I feel like the finish hampered it. If it ends up that Garza was legit hurt in this, that really sucks, and I feel bad giving it any kind of low grade at all. But it was a miscommunication between the wrestlers and the ref, and this isn't the first time this has happened lately either. So I get the frustration, because up until that point they were having probably the best match they've ever had. Drew Gulak is backstage celebrating becoming the new 24/7 champion, and here's our truth to roll him up and win it back. Good stuff. Well, where are we going now with the 24/7 title stuff? I mean, what's the next level here? I feel like it just keeps sucking cruiserweights into its gravitational pull, and R-Truth ends up fighting them for a bit and then they disappear. So is Is Drew Gulak now replacing Akira Tozawa in that role? Is that what's happening? Yeah. What are we doing with it, lads? Bayley heads out to the ring. She is all smiles because Nikki Cross is not here tonight. And she throws out the open challenge. The door is open, ding dong. And she decides that, hey, no one's answered in time. So that's the end of that. And then Asuka comes out. And Asuka wants a piece of Bayley. So we have an impromptu Clash of Champions. Clash of Champions. Short match, this one. Really thrown together match. Asuka gets some early offense in. Bayley wears her down. We end up seeing they fight outside of the ring after Bayley is distracted shouting at Michael Cole and eats a code breaker from Asuka as she comes off the top of the top rope. Nothing. They fight outside the ring. Bayley swings with a steel chair, clatters Asuka, and the referee awards Asuka the win by DQ. But obviously Bayley retains the title as Bayley holds up the belt. Here comes another chair. Bonk. Back of Bayley. It's Sasha Banks, isn't it? She's got the neck brace on. She's dressed a bit like Lita tonight. And she is just wailing on Bayley. And Bayley manages to kick her away and get a little bit of distance. Ends up with Bayley taking Banks down and throwing her into the ring. Iron up, battering her with a Singapore cane. However, Sasha Banks manages to kick back, wails on Bayley with a Singapore cane, and then goes to hit her with a chair, and Bayley scurries out of the ring to end the segment. Oh man, this is tough because I really enjoyed the stuff they've been doing. I'm giving this whole bit a C+, right? Bayley and Asuka was a rush job, and I get it. Like there's a last minute change, and you've got to figure it out. But surely we could have put something together a bit more intriguing than this. Surely. And then Sasha Banks turning up. I think it's too soon. I know you want to get to Hell in a Cell, but could you not have waited a couple more weeks, maybe? I just feel like she's only been gone. It doesn't feel like she's been gone that long, and now she's back seeking vengeance. I'd liked her to have stayed off of television a little while longer. And then the brawl itself just felt a bit. I get it because you're meant to find the real in it, and it's meant to be two people who despise each other, just scratching and clawing. But it just felt a bit clumsy. Like, it could have been a bit crisper and a bit cleaner. And yeah, which is a shame. I was excited for the sort of the return of Banks, and it just felt a little bit flat to me here. That's a shame, innit? The penultimate match of the evening. It is the ambulance match. Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship. Orton nearly gets an RKO early on, but ends up hitting a draping DDT. And that hurts the jaw of Drew McIntyre. It looks as if Orton's going to go for the punt early in the match when a big fat hand grabs onto Drew McIntyre's foot, and it's a hand that belongs to the Big Show, who pulls Orton out of the ring, choke slams him through the announce table. Basically, the story of this match is Randy Orton being visited by the ghosts of Christmas past, present and future. As the match is progressing, every time Orton feels like he's getting into control, somebody will turn up. So they end up fighting towards the ambulance, where Drew McIntyre goes for a claymore onto Orton, ends up hitting the door off the ambulance. So Orton takes control. They fight into the backstage area, where Orton is jumped by Christian, who batters him near catering. Drew takes control once again until they get back towards the ambulance, and we see Orton bounce Drew's head off of the windshield, and Drew's back is just covered in cuts and glass shards. He looked a mess after this bit. They're fighting on top of the ambulance, and we have a little sort of Lion King type moment where Drew is hanging on to the ambulance, and there's Orton over the top of him, stamping on his hands, going, "Long live the king." And then Drew sort of falls off out of shot. And then here's Shawn Michaels, the ghost of Christmas past again. He lands a sweet chin music onto Randy Orton, then just pushes him off the ambulance into the abyss. Drew McIntyre back in control very briefly here, but Orton lands an RKO and throws him into the ambulance. Cue dramatic long time wasting as Orton slowly shuts the door, then goes to shut the other one, and then beautiful camera work, by the way, grabs the door, stops him from closing it. Drew fights back into this, hits a claymore onto Orton, puts him in the ambulance, and then goes, actually, no, we're not done yet. Brings him out, lies him, so his head is leaning out of the ambulance. Big old punt kick to Randy Orton. There's your receipt for all the other lads. back in the ambulance you go, slam the door shut. Drew McIntyre retains the WWE Championship. And then look who's driving the ambulance! It's only Ric Flair. Finishing off the ghosts of the past bit, he drives Randy Orton out of the building as Drew celebrates becoming, retaining rather, his WWE Championship. Giving this match an A. I thought these two worked really hard in this one. I loved some of the stuff they set up. I liked the whole ghosts coming back to haunt Orton throughout this match, and it felt like a feel-good win for Drew McIntyre. I thought everyone kind of picked this as the night that Drew would lose the belt, but quite the opposite. I think he's come away even stronger. And so we come to our main event of the night. Roman Reigns defending the Universal Championship against Jey Uso. And this match starts slow. It's Roman almost annoyed that this match is happening, whilst Jey is up for it. He's up for the fight. Now, Roman keeps overpowering him now, that is the problem. And he gets some strikes in early, does Jey, but he ends up just getting shut down by the big dog. And Roman is, a lot of this match, walking around, muttering, shouting at Jey, telling him it didn't have to be this way. He just looks annoyed throughout that it's all got to this point. Uso gets a flurry, hits a Samoan drop for a near fall, goes for the Uso corner attack, and boom, Superman punch. Roman's back in control. Every time Jey tries to get a little bit of energy, he ends up just being shut down by Roman Reigns, who then just gets angry. He's not hurt, he's just angry. We get one more big flurry from Jey Uso, hits two dives outside of the ring, big crossbody onto Roman Reigns, hits a super kick for a near fall as well, turns a spear into a cradle, which looked ace for a near fall, super kick Uso splash, the nearest of near falls. Like, they suspended my disbelief so beautifully here. However, as Jey is recovering from that final flurry, it looks like Roman may have got a little shot in as he landed the Uso splash that weakened him, and he gets hit by a spear from Roman Reigns. But Roman ain't pinning him. Roman ain't pinning him. No, this is where the match gets very uncomfortable, as Roman Reigns is just talking at Jey Uso, saying it didn't have to be this way, and demanding that he admit that he, Roman Reigns, is the chief and he is the head of the table. And Jey is refusing to do so, and Roman is just on top of him, punching him and punching him and punching him, driving elbows and forearms into Jey Uso's head. Paul Heyman is ringside saying, "I declare you the chief and the head of the table." But Roman's like, no, I want him to say it. And you can see Paul Heyman looking very, very uncomfortable about all of this. Charles Robinson steps in like he wants to stop the match, and Roman just backs him into the corner and says, look, this is my company. You can stay out of family business. Just keeps on laying into him, and all the while, like with Roman just constantly asking him, grabbing his face and pushing it into the hard camera, telling him to say it down the camera, and Jey just isn't. He's either unconscious or denying it and refusing to. Eventually, after a long beating, Jimmy Uso comes down, limps down to the ring, and he's got the towel. He's going to throw the towel in, and Jey is begging with him not to. And Roman's like, oh, whatever, you guys do whatever. He needs to know. Jey's begging Jimmy not to throw the towel in. Roman grabs Jey's leg, pulls him into the center of the ring, and just wails on him. And Jimmy's had enough, throws the towel in, and the referee stops the match. Jimmy rolls in, covers his brother, and just screams at Roman Reigns, like, you're right, okay, you're the chief, you're the head of the table, chill. And just the frustration and the sadness in Jimmy's eyes, and Roman just stands over him. And says to Paul, I won. He gets the championship, he gets the lei that Jey Uso wore to the ring, and stands over the Usos as the show goes off the air. This is an A+. This is an A+. It was passionate, it was intense, it was uncomfortable. It's Roman Reigns becoming the arsehole that he always had to be. It's the arsehole we always knew he had in him. And it was just a phenomenal way to end the show. What a power move from Roman Reigns, just to batter Jey Uso like this in the final match. Jey looked great in this as well. Jey loses nothing by being on the receiving end of a Roman Reigns beating. He had a great showing in his first main event like this. And whilst the commentators said it, they didn't need to say it outright. The idea that if this is what Roman Reigns will do to his family, what will he do to the SmackDown roster? is a great message at the end of this. Love the main event. Now, obviously, this has been a show of peaks and troughs. We've had some A+ stuff and we've had some less than A+ stuff. So the average grade calculator, which is what I use to make up the final grade, gives Clash of Champions a very respectable B. And there was stuff in the middle that could have been a lot better, put together. But the strength of the opening match and the final two bumps this grade all the way up. If you haven't watched Clash of Champions yet and you're watching this review, I encourage you to watch the opening match, the ambulance match, and that incredible Universal title. Do I even call it a match? It just feels like a moment. It was just so good, so good. And it carried the show, absolutely carried the show, giving it a B. Of course you'll disagree, would love to know what you think in the comments on what you think was the better out of those three matches. Surely there was nothing else better than that tonight. Absolutely not. Stay safe. Love you, bye.